regarding what happens to us when we die. The experience, again, it's sort of strange in the 21st century how we have become so separated from the ideology of what it is to pass over into another energy. And, you know, once you really realize that there is much more to you than the body, that you are not the body, that you are far more incredible than a body, that you are a spirit, an essence, and that you're on this eternal path of growth, it becomes much less frightening. And then it becomes more about what we're going to do with the time we have here, what we can accomplish, what our mission is, the people that we can help, how we can teach, how we can learn the wisdom that we can absorb while we're here on planet Earth. And those are the important things that we are meant to do here. And really let go of fear. Letting go of fear itself is such an important thing to integrate on this particular incarnation. Fear, of course, is crippling. It prevents us from doing great things. It prevents us from being all we can be. It really keeps any soul or any being stuck. So getting past fear and moving into a place where you can trust spirit, you can trust that you have a purpose, that this life is meaningful and there will be much more beyond this lifetime. Not being in a state of worry that if you lose somebody that you love along the way, that you're never going to see them again, or what they are or they were is, you know, gone forever. The soul is eternal, it lives on, it has an infinite amount of lifetimes, and once you kind of come to that knowing, you can kind of start getting down to the business of living. So hopefully this will put your mind at ease. What happens to animals when they pass away? This is another question sometimes that comes up, and they are usually with us, especially our pets are usually journeying with us in the spirit realm for our entire lives. They are sent here to protect us and be an absolute embodiment of grace. They don't obviously speak the language that we speak, but they are always here to comfort us with unconditional love, and they're our protectors. So again, once you realize that the animal kingdom in and of itself is a very balanced energy, you can start to see it in a different fashion, have more respect for it, in terms of when you have loved ones that have passed on, knowing that they are on the other side. Now, they're not generally in Earth's realm. Once they pass on, most souls are going to go to the celestial realms, or they will go and be acclimated in sort of a holding place where they may reincarnate on a lower density planet. But again, that's all for their learning. It's all, again, a choice, because every action that we take in every lifetime is a choice. So really what is so important is that we let go of fear, we let go of judging ourselves, because again, we're on this path of learning, growth, ascension, awakening, and all of it is a beautiful experience, each and every part of it. So it is exciting, it is an adventure, it is something that we're here to do. And certainly not to be afraid of what happens after you are no longer in this 3D vehicle. It is another adventure. It's something to look forward to. And if we look back on many cultures that have had beautiful ways of seeing the passage from this life to the next, again, we can really start to ingrain those principles in our own ideology and our own way that we think about who and what we are. And letting go of the notion that we are just a body will certainly help to bring peace to each and every aspect of our existence. So again, sort of rounding out this video would just be Again, kind of back to discussions in previous videos about choosing your polarity, deciding if you are service to others, service to self, somewhere in the middle. Maybe you haven't really gone through an awakening, you're not really on a path yet, that's okay. For many years, I existed in what I would consider a state of sort of being asleep, where I was just learning about the three-dimensional world, learning about having a body, learning about having parents and families and all these different things, and just getting out there and experiencing all of this stuff. And then, you know, periodically over the years, I had a series of awakenings that happened. And it was sort of, you know, one after the other, like a domino effect. And because I went through this process so many times, and each time it's sort of a breaking down of my ego, whether it be a health issue or, you know, some sort of financial loss of sort of the construct of what builds safety, like family. Going through those things, these sort of ego deaths, will push you into a sort of growth that has to happen. It's just, it must happen for you to get through things. And so essentially, there's nothing wrong with being where you are. It's always right, it's always correct. And being asleep is not, it's not a derogatory term. It just means that you haven't gotten that little push from divine, from, you know, the source, to get to that higher level of learning. And even though you're still learning, you're tending to learn a lot of the lessons a little bit more subconsciously. And then once you've had an awakening, you look back and you're like, oh, okay, I get why I was shown this, and this. It all kind of adds up. It all makes sense now. But in terms of, again, the original question that I had for Madison about the fear of death, the fear of losing the body, the fear of sometimes, I guess, aging, you know, not having two hands, legs, feet, you know, eyes to see what's going to happen. What would it be like if I lost all of that? And what is really important to understand is that you actually can see. It's just through a different mechanism. The only mechanism we know in the third dimension, because it's all we can see based on the veil of forgetting, is that we have these three-dimensional sort of material eyes, and, you know, in a sense, the body is a receiver of a certain amount of information through our five senses. But once we leave this vehicle, actually what happens is this huge expansion, and actually our conscious awareness is much more broad and, you know, much more in depth than what we experience in a body. So when we shed this material body, it's actually an expansion. It's actually very beautiful. You'll feel this almost like you're sort of becoming everything, but you're still you, if that makes sense. And again, there's multiple reasons why I know this and why I've learned these things, and I want to teach how and why, you know, I'm able to deliver this information. But it's going to take time, because it's taken me a life to get to this point. But one of the very powerful things that was taught to me as a young girl was both my great-grandma and my grandma both had out-of-body experiences. They actually left their bodies, they died for a period of time, and they were able to, when I was a young girl, walk me through what they saw when these things happened to them. And I had very similar experiences, only I didn't physically die. I just sort of left the three-dimensional construct, and all of a sudden it was sort of like astral projection. I was outside of what I would consider my body, but able to perceive a lot of different things. And this happened for quite a long time at various points in my life. So again, I was able to assimilate a lot of information. So my point being, and I've had to keep charging my phone and running back and charging my phone again, so that's why this is a little bit choppy, but I just wanted to get this done tonight before I start my work week Monday and be done with this topic. So yeah, basically the message is, the point is that you don't have to be afraid of dying. Certainly none of us want a traumatic death. That's something that, again, seems to be a little scary. We all hope that we go through our transition very peacefully. Again, that's not always how it works here on planet Earth. So hope for the best, I guess, is what I can say about that. But don't worry about it. Don't let the idea of death or the transition from this type of energy to the next type of energy stop you from doing the things that you're meant to do, from what you're meant to go out and experience and, try in terms of having a body. Like, having this vehicle that we get to be in should be this super incredible experience. And sometimes it does become a bit of a box or a bit of a cage, so to speak. That is a lesson in and of itself, because again, we're trying to transcend the limitations of our mind. So everything that we see in terms of our external reality, especially when we are incarnated on planet Earth, is a mirror. So everything around you is mirroring what is going on in terms of what's inside your own mind. So when we think about the transition from a material body into a spirit body or a light body, there's nothing to worry about. Everything is usually a pretty great, grand, peaceful experience. If you have done some things while you're here on planet Earth that aren't the best, aren't the greatest in terms of service more to yourself, or being more on a destructive path, well, then you're just going to continue on that destructive path after you're done here. But that is what you like to do. That is the vibration that you are aligning with. So really, at the end of the day, is somebody like Hitler going to be upset that they go to, a third density negative polarized planet? Probably not. That's what the guy was doing while he was here. So really, you don't have to worry about what happens to bad people, or not that they're bad people, they're learning their own way. What happens to those type of characters? They will go where they've always been headed. And for those of you that are maybe not sure, maybe you have a little bit of self-doubt about your path, or maybe you haven't done the right things in your life, or you're judging yourself, you're a little bit worried, there's still lots of time to forgive yourself, forgive others, set your karma straight, do some good things. That is the whole learning process. That's why we're here, because we wouldn't be able to learn if we didn't make those mistakes, understand those mistakes, and then do something better. That's the whole point. So hopefully this brought you a little bit of peace of mind and could potentially make the next leg of your journey a little bit more exciting. Maybe you're going to dive deep, do a little bit more soul searching, get into your own spirituality, your own awakening, thirsting for more wisdom and knowledge and all that good stuff. But stop being afraid. Stop being afraid of the transition of life. Don't worry if you've lost loved ones. They're on the other side. They are doing their work for you, with you, and you will be reunited with them. And most of all, it's a journey, and it's an eternal journey. This is what we have to remember. It's an eternal journey. There's nothing to be afraid of. And yes, 100%, you are spirit, and you will exist beyond this lifetime. Okay, I'm gonna head to bed because I have got a busy day tomorrow, but we'll see you in the next video.